I'd say setting expectations up front. What do you expect out of them? What do you want to come from that? Are the big things that was part of my pitfalls, and I guess what I didn't really say in a nutshell here.
And I'll touch on something you said. I would say it's trust. That when you're handing over part of your office, it is your baby. If your office is not working, nothing's going to work for you. And so you have to have a lot of trust in the company or VA that you're putting your business, giving your business to and training. I think that just like, even though, for example, at BidSlot, we do cold calling every single day, the way that you may want cold calling done could be a little bit different. And so training also is a big one. Trust and train.
For me, it's social media management and video editing.
For me, I would say it's the phone. Most VAs don't do phone work, and we love the phone. Each cold calling campaign, and this has evolved because I'll tell you what, when we bought our first building, which we had no idea we were going to do, that happened 6 months after BidSlot started. We thought it was going to be a nice little stay-at-home job. Well, we bought an office building, and everybody would think an office building has internet and phone, right? Well, this one didn't. And then when we started calling Spectrum, AT&T and all that, they wanted like $6,000 to run the cable down. So I'm a mover, I'm a shaker, so I was like, all right, well, we're gonna get some AT&T cordless phones. Everybody's gonna have a clip on their side. They're gonna have this little microphone, and then that's how we started. So we've evolved a lot. Everybody that we do cold calling for has a special number. That's an outbound dialing number just for them. So when someone returns the call, it goes to what we call a catch-all line, and then we know exactly what company it was for based on call rotation. So we're nationwide: Canada, Mexico, and the United Kingdom. We even have a company in China, but they are doing everything in the U.S., shipping and everything. But he lives in China.
Yeah. So I'm very much a unicorn. So I'm actually an electrical engineer by degree, a project manager, and then have the business. So it's definitely been a muscle you have to learn to tell somebody do this and then watch over them as they do it, versus well, I can do it better. Let me hop on the call and do that, right? So just give it back to me. You have to really be willing to let it go. For me, it was the payroll. Like I mentioned, all those things. Just, are they going to be mad now that they're not getting paid the most? Are they going to end up messing something up? And then I found that the systems we had, we used Wise actually to transfer funds over to the accounts for the Philippines. And through that, I haven't given quite all the leverage. So my virtual assistants, I'm like, okay, cool. I got a little Excel spreadsheet. I know here's their hourly rate, here's how many hours they worked. Cool, then I uploaded it into Wise one at a time. She went through and she's like, here's this even bigger spreadsheet that's got all these different calculations. Here's what they worked, here was the overtime hours, whatever. And then she goes and she put a batch, she does the batch, so then I actually review the sheet, then she puts it into Wise, and then I click approve. She actually put systems in place for me, which is also another cool thing. Sometimes the VAs can actually create systems for you because they've done it more than you, which is another reason why to specialize in a specific area with the VA, because they probably have some things and you can lean on them as well a little bit to, hey, what's been your experience? What have you done? And lean on their systems a little bit too.
Sometimes it's actually giving directions. They're like, oh, I heard you're good. I just want you to handle my CRM and take the phone calls, and you know everything. Well, we don't know anything about the way they do things. So I think that you really have to train the person that you're going to offset things to. Even if we sit at an office and we do all those things all day, the way you like to do them is different than the other person. Well, you have to let it go and trust that somebody else can do it as good as you or better. So I hire people that are better at me at doing these things. My cold calling manager is off the hook. There's nothing that's gonna get through the cracks because she knows about it. They answer the phones, they're sitting there ready, waiting and things. So One of the main reasons I started my answering service was because when we owned a commercial kitchen hood cleaning company, those calls come in the middle of the night, and we had a growing family. And so it used to just kill me if a call woke up. This was a long time ago. Like, cell phones just came out. And so when the phone would ring, which was in our bedroom because you had one in every room in the house, then I just wanted to die because the kids would wake up and I was so tired already. And I thought there has got to be a better way. Before that, though, everybody either had our home business line or they had a cell phone number about a year later. And so you have to get rid of that, because if you're here right now and you're getting phone calls and they're going to voicemail. So it'd be better to have a service with a professional appearance, make you seem bigger than you actually are, more professional, whatever. You're the one that normally gives like someone a greeting and things like that on exactly how you want it handled. And then you can also listen to calls. Really, the first phone call normally pays for us. Also, I just want to add to your phone question, and it being you, one of the first things I try to do whenever I talk to someone like you is for you to get a second line on your phone and then forward your business line to my office. Or if you don't have that option through your cell phone carrier provider, I would suggest that you port it to a phone service and you get a new cell phone number, and then you feel the freedom and things are being done, and it creates a lot less stress.
Well, and the other thing to that too, which I found for myself, it's really ego. You feel like your value in your services is because of you, when it's really not. And you look at all the big companies around here, you don't talk to the CEO when you want to buy a BMW. You talk to a salesperson.
People in place. That's why you put those people in place, is so that, because you can't do everything, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And so your ego gets in the way of you actually being able to scale your business, because you feel like the value of your business, your service, is you. It's me. When it's not, your service is the value, not you, the person.
You can't take, you mean like a D&D list? No, you can't, but a good answering service doesn't charge for spam. So if there's more than one type of client. Some clients want a message on every single phone number that hits their line. They don't care if it was a hang up or like they hung up before you could even answer. There's people like that. And then there's some like, I don't want you to bill me for it, so don't run spam calls. I don't care, and so it's a preference for you. We can D&D like that one number that kept calling, but they just add a number and keep calling. But our office, because we are an answering service, if it's a robocall, it lights up a whole lot of lines at one time. So we pick up, hang up, pick up, hang up. And then if it's like, we don't know if you work with them, like Angie Leads or Home Advisor, or like some of those where we work with people that have those turned on. If we don't know you don't work with them, we would take the call, but you can always send an email and just be like, I don't work with them, tag my account. And then when we tag your account, when you get a call, a box pops up, and then we click it, and it gives us all your directions and things like that on those types of things.
So yeah, that's my strategy. So I can help with other things. It just depends on what it is. But I typically just focus in on the social media and video editing, because that's going to be my specialty.
And Philip talked to somebody and referred them to me, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not hiring now. I just hired 4 people, but I'll keep them I'll keep them in the running. So, and I do collab with Rob. I do a lot of collaborations, actually. I have a really good referral partnership type thing, where every paying client you send us, you get a certain amount of money. And then if you get over a certain amount of monthly reoccurring billing revenue with bid slot based on your referrals, then you get either 5 or 10% depending on where you go, and that's monthly reoccurring. So it's definitely a good business model, like having partnerships like this, or referrals and things like that. Yeah, I literally need help with things he's doing, and I'm sure he probably needs help with. I'm not sure if you noticed that in our presentations, but we're 2 completely different companies, and that's the uniqueness of VAs.
Yeah.